broke. We ain't got it. Don't spend no money, ain't got no clothes, ain't got no cars, ain't got no hoes. We broke.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You're now listening.
1, 2, broke. We ain't got it.
Tuchagama Obama.
All right. Two Broke Twimbos is back. My name is Danny, that guy, a.k.a. Denias, a.k.a. the only guy, a.k.a. your girlfriend probably pities me, a.k.a. done more. When you look inside my wallet, it's more like Dan less.
That's right. And he's on a technological device, beaming to you guys from across the border. None other than the sexy, the dapper, the engaging, the irrefutable, the unconstitutionable Phil Chard, a.k.a. Flame Floss the Big Boss, baby, a.k.a. Pizza P, a.k.a. Sexington Lovu, a.k.a. DJ Mkarad, and of course, Shamari, the Tengero Dringi. How you doing, Dan?
I'm alright. How's it in Mzansi?
It's scary. So scary, but I'm okay. I'm doing good.
Why are you struggling at Pretoria Girls High over there where you are?
I really want to see where you gonna go with this, Dan. Where do you want to go with this joke that's not gonna make you look like a douche? Carry on.
There's no way that it can make me look like a douche because it's really making fun of you as a little girl. That's how I was gonna go with it.
So basically, it's a sexist joke that is somehow meant to emasculate me by portraying me as a woman. What is wrong with women, Dan? Carry on.
As a little girl, Phil.
Okay. And what is wrong with little girls, Dan? Are they not fighting for our freedoms?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with little girls, Phil, unless you would like to identify as one. Is that what you're basically saying right now?
Dan, I am not a conformist. I do not conform to these barriers and boundaries that you try to put me in. I am me. And whatever you want to classify me as,
sometimes you're a little girl.
Yes, I am.
It would make sense for a lot of things, actually.
That is indeed correct, Dan. And I have no qualms with accepting my feminine side, Dan, because I am comfortable in my sexuality.
Interesting. So may it go on record that sometimes Phil identifies as a little girl.
Carry on, Dan. Carry on. This is a great way to endear yourself to the intelligentsia, if you will.
You also have to be very careful, Phil, of being what's the word that they like to use, or what's the phrasing they like to use? Fake deep, actually. Yeah. There's no way that telling a grown man he's being a little girl is not insulting because you want to go and say, no, you see, you have to understand that I identify. No, that's an insult, Phil, and accept it as such.
Okay, Dan, I'm just going to cut the snippet out, put it on Twitter, and I'll let them rip you to shreds.
Let who rip me to shreds?
You know who. I'm not going to mention names.
Who? To let who rip me to shreds, Phil?
Them.
Who's them?
They won't let you get away with this.
Yeah. Anyway, look, it's been a busy couple of weeks. It's good to catch up, see what's going on. Zim has been busy. I don't know about Mzansi. I went online and I realized that the world is still the same as it always has been, because I saw that South Africa has a Mzansi's Sexiest Women or something competition going on.
Wait, what? Come again?
No, that's like I logged onto my timeline and it was like, cast your votes in Mzansi's Sexiest. It was like all over my timeline. I was very intrigued, at the same time quite disappointed, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. South Africa's got such a wide array of beauties. I really don't think it's possible to pick one. Maybe if you break it down by neighborhood.
Is this what you tell all your bays, Phil?
Yeah. Dude, I'm under fire right now. I'm under fire on Twitter these days. Yo.
I saw you making cryptic tweets. I didn't even want to inquire further in case I get caught in the crossfire. So
it was actually hilarious. It was actually quite a funny situation.
Do you want to share?
As you may or may not know, I've been known to send a DM or two. Shoot my shot, as it were. And
if you didn't know, Phil sometimes copy pastes DMs.
That's right.
And
I
sends
send
to as
bulk
many
DMs,
people
Dan.
as
That's the
possible.
correct term. There's a service I use. So basically, what I do is I have a list of my bays, and then I just type one DM, and it sends to all. It's like a broadcast WhatsApp message, but
Nice,
in the DMs.
nice. So you're basically a party promoter, but for DMs of babes.
Yes. I'll be promoting a party, but not the type you think of.
Well, so I take it you were caught, and
Not really, no, because they all know about each other. Because you know how I roll. I'm like, yeah, don't worry, this is not a solo affair, young ladies. And they'll be like, oh, so you also at the party? You at the party too? Damn, girl. And then someone who wasn't at the party tried to pretend like they were at the party. I'm like, fam, you were never at the party. What you talking about? These guys were at the party. I never gave you an invite. You know what I'm saying? So stop fronting like you're at the party. You weren't at the party.
yeah,
You know what I'm
I like the way this metaphor has it's really grown, and it's taken a life of its own. It's about to reach singularity, really. Anyway, let's move on to more wholesome topics. What can we talk about that's been happening in Zim?
There's so much, Dan. There's so much. What happened to this stay away? I heard the stay away was a stay there.
It was quite the I don't want to use the word flop because you know
It was failed.
I don't want to use negative words. You know what I mean? Let me just say it wasn't as successful as hoped.
The one time the herald was right, really. I'm trying to figure out how to hang this mic. I need my mic stand. Jeez, being away from home is tough. You got your studio set up and everything. Now I've got to hold the mic. I feel very uncomfortable. I like my hands to be free. I'm very expressive when I talk, you know?
Do you feel better? Why don't you get someone to come hold the mic for you?
That is a great idea. But
Or
my
better
PC is
yet,
currently not home.
get that person to come and do all the expressions for you while you hold the mic.
That also makes sense. That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
I'm always coming up with these good ideas, but no, about the stay away. Yeah, look, basically, a lot of people went to work, and I mean, there can be debates from here to Sunday about why and what reasons and blah blah blah. But I think basically there needs to be a new approach, really. I think because the stairways, I don't think they're going to catch on as easily anymore.
Yeah, I think my thought was based off the fact that we've had let me not align ourselves with such, but the one successful stay away.
Are you forgetting the person on Twitter who was telling us that we must align ourselves? Anyway,
We'll get to that. That's a good point of conversation. But let me finish this. I think what seemed to have made that first stay away pop off or be a success was because it had the support of the civil servants. The moment the civil servants got paid, the strategy in terms of disseminating the information or motivating the people to stay away has not changed, and that has clearly been a mistake. So those that are trying to get their point across might need to revise their strategy if they don't have the support of the civil servants, because the civil servants are really the biggest working class in Zimbabwe.
I was actually hearing in the news today that apparently the government has put up some strong words against civil servants who participate in demonstrations and stay away, which basically,
I'm shocked.
In a nutshell, what those words were was you're not going to get paid.
That's ironic.
Yeah, well.
Don't stay away because we're not paying you. Because if you do stay away for non-payment, we will not pay you. I'll be like, huh?
Anyway, so it's very interesting actually how Harare has come alive over the past couple of weeks. It's not something you see very often, and it's very interesting, very interesting.
I remember the day I flew out was the day after the strikes, and Harare had been on fire. That's just the day after they'd burned some of the cars and the ZBC truck, and I had to go drop off something at the bus station at Roadport. Excuse me. And it was like, like when you go into Roadport, you park. There's that parking bay where the paid parking is in the Roadport bus stop. And then there's like the big public toilet. Behind the big public toilet, there were like 10 cops just chilling. I'm like, are you guys trying to hide? Because, it's not very...
Fam, I was trying to get to a Pokestop, bruh, and there was, one of those huge riot police trucks that was just chilling by the side of the corner.
The bastards.
And a large gaggle of policemen. And I was like, should I just turn away? Should I? But I was on 0 Pokeballs, fam. I had to. So, but then nothing happened. It was safe. I just went through, spun a couple of times, and I think they were just quietly watching. But yeah, Harare has been, it's been lit, if you'll excuse my choice of words, over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Pokestops, while I here in SA, literally next door, in fact, there's 2 churches like in this area. One is a gym, one is a Pokestop, and I just noticed them earlier today. So I've been off Pokemon for a few weeks. I shall get back into the proverbial ring.
Oh wait, so did they come up just now, or they'd always been there and you just hadn't?
They'd always been. I just hadn't opened the app. Like I've been so busy, and dude, when I'm in Mutare, I told you, there's like one Pokestop in the whole town, and I run the town. There's no other gyms. There's nothing to do. So after I've caught all the Pokemon, I'm literally just like, you know what I mean? So it's not really interesting. But now that I found a gym, now that I found another Pokestop, I shall investigate further. Delve deeper.
Let me know, and then you can invite these Mutare people as well to also get involved. It's probably a good idea to mention. There's so many segues to do this in, because I've just realized that Shoko Festival's theme has come alive. But no, you know what? We're not going to do it the most obvious way. I'm just going to say, hey, 2 Broke Twimbos were invited to MC at Shoko again. It's a good look. I don't know if you're going to be able to make it, Phil.
Well, as you know, we are trying to arrange.
Yeah, well, make your arrangements, because I'm going to be there. I've already secured my time off work.
So you're not going to be on air on Friday?
I propose that I'll be on air and leave early, and our quality assurance and content development manager told me.
Why can't you just pre-record?
I could do that, but there's always that feel to a live show. You know what I mean?
Oh, shut up!
No, people call in and message, and anyway, I'll decide what to do. But basically, I'm very excited. Shoko Festival. I'm going to be emceeing AKA night. So,
dude, it hasn't even been confirmed yet, and it's predicated on me being there. They're not going to just hire you.
Oh no, I got no.
What does one broke Twimbo do? It does nothing. They need 2.
Oh, it better be confirmed, because I just took time off work. Excuse me. Anyway, so Shoko Festival, we really should know who's performing. I've just forgotten. Besides AKA.
There's Winky D.
There's Winky D, there's Amara Brown, AKA.
There's Amara Brown, yeah.
Do you remember which comedians?
I haven't seen the program for that yet, have you? I haven't received any information besides those performers.
It's not like we're part of the planning process in any way.
Nope, not like we're on the committee in any manner, shape, or form.
Oh, man, this is terrible. Anyway, yeah, well, I suppose we'll post it up on the website as soon as we manage to get our houses in order. But I'm very excited. Shoko Festival, I love it every year. And obviously, AKA is going to be mad dope. I think this would probably be the best time of all the other times that he's come to Zim for him to come. Because all his other hits have marinated long enough for them to be accepted in Zim. I was at the ZFM party, and KO was performing.
Oh yes, how was that?
It was very awkward because he came on after Winky D, and as you know, Winky D shut it down, had everyone going crying for more.
Why would they do that to him? Why?
Then Winky D comes off, and I actually had to move because I was like, okay, I don't want to be in the trajectory of any cans that may or may not fly.
KO?
But to his credit, KO actually owned that stage. Yes, the majority of Zimbabweans didn't know most of his songs. Oh. It was very funny because everyone was just kind of like in silence until obviously Karakara, but no, before Karakara even, until Ranjozi came on. So everyone was just kind of like bobbing their heads and just kind of chilled and looking at the stage, and not a single can was thrown. Not a can flew, and that is testament to how he owned that stage.
No, he's a consummate performer. But I think my issue with that particular event when it was first being promoted was this is a problem for, not only is it the promoters just literally throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks, it's also a problem for Zim hip hop, because if you cannot do a hip hop event on its own, or you're promoting international hip hop artists and they're coming in and you're not putting them on their own bill so that you're promoting the culture of hip hop, it's really a sticky situation where, like you just said, had KO not been as seasoned as he is, it could have been a very nasty
It could
situation.
have been bad. Now, it was really funny because everyone was just quiet until, and everyone just goes, we know this song, you know what I mean? And then silence again until Kara Kara. But he really owned the stage. Now,
funny enough, I actually wanted to get an interview with him because the day of that performance, he just dropped his song Fall Back.
yeah.
And for those that know me, I'd been very outspoken on my other blog about the situation going on at Cash Time for the past few months. And when he dropped his letter and the song, people were like, Phil, you see, KO's responding to you, bruh. You see? I told you. For those that don't know.
What was your issue? You're unhappy with Kid X being...
No, I've dropped a series of posts where I was like, yo, KO,
I don't read your stuff, Phil.
What's this?
I don't read your stuff.
Of course you don't. No, the only time Dan reads my stuff is when there's a typo.
No, excuse me. First of all, I asked you, can you hook me up like a weekly feature of like the hottest African music that I can then push on air or whatever on radio?
When did you say this?
I said this to you
When?
a long time ago. I've been asking like Phil every week. I want like the hottest African music.
And then, wait, okay, let's discuss this off air. We'll discuss this off air. This is not the place. But I don't remember this. Oh, wait, I just found the Shoka details. We're all over the place today. But it's featuring AKA, Winky D, Donovan Goliath, Amara Brown, African Sons from Norway. I have no idea what those are.
African Sons from Norway?
What the hell? Yeah. Jeez, I don't know.
It's like the European Daughters from Kenya. Okay, go on.
Yeah, whatever. Cue the boss. Doc Fikela, Zambizi News, of course. Gonyet, our beloved Gonyet. Long John, Jibilika Dance. Excuse me. And then the Unplugged acoustic series.
Yes.
No details as to who will be there.
Fam, did I tell you? Okay, I'll tell you about the last Unplugged. Continue.
Oh, yes. You need to tell me. So, yeah. That's what's going on at Shoko. Back to the Cash Time situation. Basically, Cash Time is Tabiso and KO. They decided, let's start our own entity called Cash Time Life, which is different to what Cash Time Fam was and what Tear Gas was. On that label, there's KO, who's the lead artist, who's also the CEO. There's also Mai, who's a former member of Tear Gas. There is also Kid X, or was Kid X, and there was
Max.
Nomuzi, and there's Max. Yes. So this record label is now approaching 3 years.
Didn't Nomuzi leave?
Let me finish the story.
Okay.
So in those 3 years, the lead artist was KO. That made sense because he was the front man. It was his idea, and he had the hits. He had Kara Kara. He had the Scandal Republic, which was a very successful album. He released 7 videos of that album, so it was doing quite well for him. My issue was then, okay, you've been promoting this album for 14 months. At some point, it's got to be the next man's upturn. And that next man up seemed to be either Kid X or Mai. Mai then said that dropped Ugogo. Ugogo was it was a hit. It wasn't huge, but it was a pretty decent song. And then he followed it up with a few singles and then the album. But once again, the timeline was very extended. And I was wondering, like, why isn't this album dropping? The album is supposed to drop at Easter this year, around Easter. They aren't able to get the CDs out on time. So the album only drops, the physical copies drop a week after Easter, which is obviously a disappointment because you want to get your music out before the holiday. So during the holiday, during that holiday buying period, people are buying your music and they're listening to it during that travel period. He wasn't able to do that. He then drops the album. A week after the album drops, KO announces that he's dropping a new single. That's not on his album. It's a new single completely, Papa Action. And I'm like, wait, what? Already? Like this dude just came up. Like you haven't given him not even a full quarter, 3 months to push his stuff, to at least give him notoriety. You should, as the head of the label, you should be putting all your clout behind this guy. If you're going for interviews, you should be going with him so that he can talk about his stuff. You know what I mean? On your Twitter, you should be promoting his stuff. But now, because you're dropping a single, you're now getting interviews that might have been for him. So it doesn't make sense for a radio station or Live Amp or another TV show in South Africa to book KO and then book My E. And automatically, because KO and My E have projects out at the same time, KO is going to take all that attention because My E is a smaller artist. And people have short attention spans. They're going to forget about My E's project and gravitate back to the new stuff, which is KO's project. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? That was problem number one. And I'm like, hey, dude, that's not really fair. You haven't given him a chance. You should be pushing his stuff and focusing on his stuff. Okay, there was that. Then the Summer Awards come around, the nominations. The Papa Action video is supposed to drop. The day the Papa Action video is dropping is the same day the Summer nominees are announced. I'm at the nominees event, and KO is talking about how the video won't be dropping today because it was on a flash stick, and the flash stick has been stolen, and the person that stole the flash stick is demanding a ransom. And the only way the guy's going to release the video is if there's 1,000 retweets for the free Papa Action video on Twitter. I'm like, what the hell? This is already a bad marketing plan. Like, it's so asinine. Like, we can see right through it. Like, the moment it started, I was like, this is a stunt. There's no way.
Maybe that was the whole point. It was like over, because I can't see that being an actual. Anyway, I don't know, man. What do I know?
The problem being is, like, these tweets start 15 minutes after the hip-hop category nominees are announced. And guess who happens to be a nominee in the hip-hop category? Kid X for his 3/4 Pace mixtape, which is nominated for Album of the Year, which it's a surprise, but it's a very positive surprise for Cash. I'm like, hey, this dude dropped. And another thing is, when that mixtape dropped, it was dropped on a whim because Kid X was frustrated that his music wasn't being pushed. So he went and recorded a mixtape on his own dime, released it on his own dime, and dropped it as a mixtape instead of a full project because he was tired of not having content released. So you've got a situation where a frustrated artist released a mixtape because he wasn't getting the attention he felt it deserved. When it gets recognized by the community and in a big way, instead of the record label celebrating that achievement, we're now distracted because everyone is looking for a flash stick with the music video. You know what I mean? Like, once again, you're stealing the thunder of your artists. So there's that issue.
Stop it, man. You're ruining it, man. I was totally being a fan of KO.
Then we now go on to the Nomuzi situation. Now, there's a lot of insider talk as to how that happened, but I'm really not going to speculate. But what I do know is Nomuzi has openly admitted that KO approached and like, yo, you've got a brand and you would make a great artist. Nomuzi also, besides being a brand, she seemed keen to be about them raps. So I don't know in the beginning if KO or someone else in the crew was writing her raps or coaching her, but if you listen to her early rhymes, you can hear there's a certain style she adopts that's slightly different to what she does now. She also was releasing stuff, but not at a very high level. She'd only dropped, if I'm not mistaken, 3 singles and a few features. No, yeah. She done the one with Kid X, the one with DJ Speedster, the Cash Time song. So she'd done features but no solo tracks, and to date she'd done 4 before she left. She then announces that she's not really seeing eye to eye with the vision that the label has for her, and she leaves. And at the same time, she leaves MTV. And people are wondering, what's going on with Nomuzi? Why did she leave Cash Time and MTV? Come to find out, she left them and she signed with Mnet and Vuzu, and she's doing her thing over there. She's now started her own music label. And she just released her debut single, solo single, a few weeks ago.
It was very interesting because in Bulawayo, a couple of months ago, after the news broke that she had left Cash Time, some promoters in Bulawayo had booked Cash Time for a gig. So the way it was advertised was Cash Time is going to be here, which I found very odd because you would expect people to say KO and Ningi Ningi. I think it was because KO didn't come. But yeah, so Cash Time was there, supposedly, and Nomuzi was there. So I found that quite weird. I would have loved to have like a longer conversation with her that wasn't, hey, but then, yeah, just to understand. But basically, she was there as part of Cash Time, and I thought you left. Maybe it's because they were booked before they had their issues, and she was just honoring that commitment or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Nomuzi left, and then now Kid X left. Kid X says he left on good terms. He's got no beef with them. He released a song called Thank You, thanking Tabiso and the whole Cash Time Life and KO for the opportunity. But what is clear is you've got all these artists. The label's been around for close to 3 years. You've only released 2 albums. The Mugs album is supposed to be dropping later this year. Hopefully it will drop because we've been waiting for that. Mugs has only dropped 2 singles since signing. And we're just wondering what's going on. Now, the Bang Out video, you know the Bang Out song, right?
Mm-hmm.
The video is not happening because Nasty C, for some reason, he said he's not going to be part of the video. No one knows why. So it's just, there's a lot of things going on there. And then KO did an interview with Slicko where he addressed some of these issues, but he doesn't really answer some of the questions. Because from his point of view, he's saying that these guys had autonomy to do what they did, and when they didn't reach those deadlines, I was like, oh, you guys aren't done? Cool. Now I'm just going to do it. And I'm like, but that's not how a label head operates. If you as a label head give these guys a deadline and they don't meet those deadlines, you should be on them, cracking the whip and saying, guys, you're up. Do your work. Finish your project. Let's get it out. It doesn't make sense for you to act as a label head, but you're treating your artist like a little brother. We're like, oh, you haven't finished your food yet? Fine, then I'm going to have it. You know what I mean?
But obviously, I mean, you the way you're speaking is like, listen, a label head should do this, but there's different ways of management and bosses and whatever. I mean,
no.
Whatever.
The best result for this is right. The best result is this. As a simple example is, if you are the head of a label, your responsibility is first, your designation as head of a label. Your designation is to promote the label and to promote the artists on the label, right? So if those artists are not producing and you're giving them an ample opportunity, you're giving them a single with a budget and that single goes nowhere, and then you're like, guy, we've tried this, it's failed, but I am succeeding, so let's go back to my formula. That's one thing, and I can accept that. But that does not seem to be the case right now because no one seems to be getting a fair bite of the cherry or fair bite of the pie except him. And if everyone gets a fair chance, then it'll make sense for you to continue to release music by yourself because you are the only viable entity in the group. You know what I mean? But we can't prove that. We can't prove that Mai's album was a complete flop because it never got a full chance to shine. It never got a full push. It never got a proper tour. It never got a full radio and press push. Up until today, if I go to the American Apple store, I still can't get Mai's album. And my question is, how does that make sense? Fam, the main reason you should be putting your stuff in the Apple store or on Apple Music or any of these streaming services is for fans outside the country. In South Africa, how many people have iPhones? 1. How many people have access to a debit card or iTunes gift cards? That's a smaller percentage of people with iPhones. So maybe, let's say liberally, 50% of the people who own iPhones purchase music via the Apple Store. That's a small number as compared to the people that buy the music via Musica or MTN or whatever other services you have online. But if you look at the first world, like the other day we were talking on radio about the numbers of streaming. The biggest streaming service in the world are Apple and Spotify. So people are consuming music via streaming overseas. So if they cannot get your content via streaming, what's the point of having it there? Because these are the people that cannot get your physical CDs. They're not going to be able to buy physical CDs in Best Buy because you're not distributing to Best Buy, but they can get it in Spotify and Apple Music, but the music isn't available there. So you're wasting your time. And this is a small issue.
So wait, do we like KO or nah?
As an artist, dude, I can't say I don't like him. I don't know him like that. But all I'm saying is, from my point of view, as a label head or someone who's positioned himself as a label head, and I know it's him and Tabiso, but the way that they've positioned it is KO is like the Dame Dash, and Tabiso is like the Kareem Biggs of the situation. That might be different in actuality, but that's how they're pushing it to the media. So in that regard, if KO is the one making the decisions, I don't understand these decisions. And the results are, in the past in the past year, you've lost 2 artists. Kid X is probably one of the most promising artists on the label. Everyone was expecting Kid X to be the biggest artist on that label. And KO somehow managed to position himself as the big honcho there. So all praise to him on that. But you've lost Nomuzi, who is a media powerhouse right now. My E's album is basically stillborn. I hate to say it, but it's true. Mags is still yet to release his album. So who are you left with? It's 3. It's now 3. You're now down to 3 artists.
And if they're not happy, I mean, look. I don't know, man. I don't know. All I know is that he killed his performance, even though he was in a potentially hostile audience. Obviously,
did he bring his own mic?
I don't know. How would I know if he brought his own mic?
Well, you'd see them. Okay, never mind. But KO usually he's got a glittering silver mic that every time he performs, I see him with, and he's got the gloves. The gloves.
I wasn't that close to him. I took some Snapchats of it actually.
Yeah, I saw them. They were garbage.
Excuse me. It's Snapchat. It's not.
I mean, the composition was off. The framing was horrible. It was just a mess. Just a damn mess.
It's for my memories. Forget you.
Your one-day memories.
This is Winky D. Man, he killed it.
Well, it's Winky D. What do you expect? Funny enough, I was telling people here.
Yeah.
Because on Sunday, we went to some friends and I decided to play some dancehall. And I was, going through the classics, the Elephant Man, Pondy River, Beanie Man, Red Rat, Vibes, the works. And then I started going to some Zim dance, just to let people down here know what's going on. And I was like, guys, this man right here, there's been TOK, there's been Beanie Man, there's been Elephant Man, there's been Vibes Cartel, there's been Mavado. No, not Vibes Cartel, sorry, Mavado. Who else has come? Basically, the royalty of Jamaican dancehall have all come, and they've all been washed by one ninja, one man
to rule them all.
No, guys, we need to understand. Winky D is a living legend. Okay, let's stop sleeping on him.
Winky D, the way it's like he takes the crowd and just holds them in his hand, and when he's done, he's like, "You can go now."
Yeah,
he did. He introduced, he changed lyrics to some of his songs. For example, he was admonishing the police for hurling tear gas at innocent bystanders. He got quite a loud cheer for that. And then he did some other song. It was basically about him not wanting boring girls. If I'm going to spend money on you, then at least be interesting or something. The ladies were screaming.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, man.
It's like that odd moment at Haifa when they played TOK, Burn the Batman, and all the gay people were like, yeah! Fire, let me burn them!
Can I also just say how glad I was that KO didn't... KO had this moment where, in the middle of his performance, he chills like, man, y'all know how to turn up in Harare, man. You know what we've been seeing on the news media? Man,
news media.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know. I'm paraphrasing something along those lines. And, on the news we see Zimbabwe is just, man, things look bad here, man. I don't believe none of that. I don't believe nothing that's in the media. It's like awkward silence. And I'm just like, please don't say.
Stop.
And he was quiet. He said nothing. Plus, he made no references to tear gas, so it was all good.
That would have been so awkward. You guys know I was part of a group called Tear Gas. Well, you guys don't like tear gas out here?
What's your beef with tear gas? Anyway, and then I left when Jah Prayzah was going on because it was getting late. But
you missed some data.
I don't want to lie to you. I'm a fan of Jah Prayzah's method and work ethic, and even some of his songs. But I've never in my life been like, damn, I really enjoyed that Jah Prayzah performance. And at the same time, I see the crowds love it. So he, I guess he does really good performances. And I'll normally be in the crowd and I'll be waiting for the songs that I know and like, you know what I mean? Unlike Winky D, who I feel like even if you don't like the songs, you just get swept away and carried away with the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I've seen Jah
and
a few times.
but probably arguably right now, if we're not going to consider any Sungura artists, those are the two biggest artists in Zim, Jah Prayzah and Winky D. Oh, by the way, to listen to the Jah Prayzah episode, scroll up. Yeah, and I feel like it's so impressive that Jah Prayzah can be put on the same level as Winky D when Winky D has such a huge catalog and is so lively, like performing. I don't know, man. So I guess it's testament to Jah Prayzah as well.
Really, bro. Just if you look at it, let's be frank and honest here. Jah Prayzah is our pop star.
Dude, and I don't want to lie to you, a lot of people were there like just for Jah Prayzah.
Yeah, Jah Prayzah is Zimbabwe's pop star. He might not be our cup of tea for this. There's actually a few tracks on Dara that I like. Funny enough, ever since it dropped in Mutare, when I got back there, like for 2 weeks, it was like a week. The neighbor was playing the album front to back, non-stop, the whole day, every day. So I know all the songs just via proxy.
I like a couple of songs on that album, and the previous album, I think I like 3 songs.
Chinamira, I'm guessing.
No, Chinamira is on the. Wait, okay, now I'm confusing albums. Hold on, the previous album.
Which is another thing.
Yes, it was on
albums.
Yeah, okay.
Doing 2 albums a year, that's very impressive.
Right, sorry, yes, you're right. The previous album actually had quite a number of bangers, because that's the one with Hello, Chinamira, what were these songs, man?
Okay, Dan, I think we've established you don't really listen to Jah Prayzah. Let's move on.
No, I listened to some of his stuff. It had Eriza. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And I think there was one more that I liked that I can't remember. But yeah.
The album that really brought me on was that DVD with Cheerio. You know, for the longest time, I thought he was talking about The Breakfast.
What a come up, though.
I really thought he was talking about the cornflakes. I was like, yeah, what? This guy really
Cheerios. He must really like breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. You're such an idiot. Cheerio. Dude, do you remember Jah Prayzah in Goch Goch? Dude, my dude had a string of sausages around his neck. That was the video. And the video that's just come out, Watora Mari, the dude's he's almost on 1.5 million views
they shot
now.
it with a red dragon. Remember I was telling you about the red dragon in a previous episode? I think it was you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go behind the scenes, that video was shot with the red dragon.
What a come up, man. And it's only been like a couple of years, like 8 years or something.
Dude, like I said, he's our pop star. If you look at, in 10 years from now, if he maintains this pace, we're going to be saying Jah Prayzah took the mantle from Tuku. Speaking of which, funny enough, Tuku's on the same flight as me coming here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Tuku doesn't have his own private jet by now, but that's Zim for you, I guess.
But why?
He absolutely killed it at Unplugged. Everyone was like, hey, $15.
Yeah, so tell us,
we're not paying. We're not going to go. Obviously, I wasn't saying nothing because,
Free tickets,
standard. Yeah, standard. But I mean, I did throw in a couple of jabs. Guys, $15 isn't that much, eh? Fully knowing that I was not paying.
guys, I'll have you know I'm buying VIP tickets because I appreciate this brand.
Plus, you got to show respect for Oliver Mtukudzi. He's our... Hey, this girl's really dressed up today. Damn.
Who's this? Tell me.
Mona Lisa.
Oh, okay. Tell her, say hi.
No, she's far away, but I wonder why she's... Anyway, it was packed. And the way they had crazy security to make sure no one snuck in, I was like, seriously? Like it took me a while to convince people. Because as you know, Phil, you're in my entry cards. I lost those.
Yeah, I still don't believe that story, but okay.
What do you mean? Why would I
you
keep
moving
it?
around with my card? Why didn't you take the card out of your wallet?
You
and
were
put
not
it
here.
In my room.
You were not here, okay?
You bastard.
It
You
was
lost
in my
my card.
wallet, and anyway. Yeah, so I had to go there and say, listen, I don't have the card with me, but if you look at your list of people with cards, of course it doesn't help that on the list it says Diddy that guy, and that's not what it says on my ID. But eventually... Eventually, I managed to get in, and it was packed. And I was really thinking that almost everyone here has either paid the $10 advance ticket, which there were limited numbers of, or paid $15. Man, them peeps is making bank. It was packed. And they used a bigger venue. They used the race course.
Of course.
So, so much for yours. Hey, we're not going. It's $15. Get out of here. And of course, Tuku killed it, man. I can't believe he looks very old and frail right now, but he's still on stage with all the energy, and I was quite impressed. I lost a good 20 minutes just being in the front and standing. It was great. It really was great.
Tuku knows how to shut it down, man. Tuku's a living legend. We should honor and praise him at every opportunity. And I'm a big proponent of celebs being treated as celebs, especially in Zim. I know we've got an issue here in Zimbabwe. We see a celeb and we don't really want to not be cool. You know what I mean? You don't want to be like,
I'll stand for Tuku. I don't care, man. I was in the front screaming and it was on my Snapchat as well.
Funny enough, when he came for the flight, I don't think his ticket was business because it was in the economy line with us. And then he just while he's standing there, a guard comes over and he's like, no, Tuku, come here. So he pulls him out of the line, takes him straight to the front, straight to Dex. He's like, hey, there's Tuku, sort Tuku out. So I'm like, yeah, that's right. Sort Tuku out. You shouldn't be standing in no queue. Some old guy was like, hey, what's going on here? Hey, I've been here since 5 a.m. I'm like, fair. No.
Do you have 3,000 albums, lady? Excuse me.
This is not the time. Okay? When you drop 3,000 albums, when you've got 5 bajillion performances to your name, you know what I mean? Then we can say, hey,
Wasn't there a time he was releasing an album every other month or something?
Something like that. I think there was a time he was releasing an album where it'll be the same song, just an extended mix, where you just change a few words in the chorus. New song, guys. Here you go.
Tuku, man. Anyway, it's time. Obviously, now someone else is taking over. At the moment, obviously, as we're saying, Jab. Have you seen the video? Well, obviously you have. You're talking about it being the red camera. What do you think of it?
I thought it was okay. The thing is, it's a very when you look at the standard of African videos, the way they are going, considering what the category this video is in now, because it's African pop. Yeah. It's very run of the mill. It's very
generic.
It's very generic. It's very average. It's got a basic storyline. So it's there. It's not amazing. It's not bad by any sense. I mean, it's just a good video with a basic storyline. Nothing too crazy. No crazy effects. You know what I mean? So it's passable. But when we compare it to Zimbabwean videos, it's mind blowing. Jesus, what a movement forward, a giant leap in the right direction. This is mammoth. You know what I mean?
I spoke to do you know name Tatenda Jamera?
Yes. He's I know him quite well. He's done a few videos did a video for a Nigerian artist. I'm forgetting the name, but yes. Yeah. Soko was bigging him up a while back, actually. He's
actually, I don't know the veracity of these claims, but he does make these claims. He's done Nicki Minaj's video.
Yeah, he was DOP for that, if I remember correctly.
Mary J. Blige.
That's the story I was told as well.
Yeah.
Well, another thing, in American videos, in Zimbabwe, when you do a video, it's one camera, it's one director who also edits, who also is the director of photography, who also handles the lighting. You know what I mean?
It was part of a large team.
You've got a 40-man crew. So, your job can just be to make sure that the art direction matches the storyboard and the color palette matches the storyboard or the theme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can still be a director in that. No, I'm not trying to take away from what he's done, because I'm sure he's done a lot of great work, and he's quite highly regarded by his peers. So shout out to him. But yes, I believe that he has done what he claims to have done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he spoke about it, and I believe I had him on a radio interview. So I asked him, I was like, all right, cool, let's talk about Zimbabwean music videos then. Let's talk about the ones that are out right now. And we used the Jah Prayzah one as an example. And he says, it was shot brilliantly and whatever, but there's something missing. I'm like, oh, word, cool. With all your experience in doing videos, how would you have changed it? And he says, I would have shot that video kumusha. With the same cameras, with the same cast, whatever, I'd have just shot it kumusha. I was like, interesting. Because
I think that well has been run dry.
I don't know. It depends on how they do it. But his whole deal was, sort of have a Zimbabwean flavor to it. That's what he was basically saying. At the same time, I don't want to criticize too much because it's pretty much his first foray into Afro pop, Afro beats.
But then that's another thing. Like, there's always this fetishization. Fetishization is the word? Yeah. There's that fetishization we have, especially as quote unquote people in the diaspora, where we want everything to be so heavily Zimbabwean that sometimes it's a detriment to what the global view is. Because if you look at it this way, right? Jah Prayzah, for all intents and purposes, that song is Zimbabwean as hell. That's his style, word for it. I can't remember if I told you. Actually, the time last year when I was with the Diamond Platinums at the MTV Awards, and people were asking me like,
drop.
Standard. When people were like, and his team was asking, yo, like, so who in Zimbabwe would be a great fit for him? I'm like, yo, if you actually listen to the music he's making, Jah Prayzah is making music that would fit perfectly with the music you're making. And it proved to be true. So Jah Prayzah basically said, Diamond, come here. This is my music. This is my sound. This is the type of song I would have made without you anyway. I just need you to throw your verse on this, throw your melodies. And it worked perfectly. Where Jah Prayzah did not change who he is as an artist at all.
Yeah.
And it worked perfectly. And what that does now is it introduces the rest of Africa, especially those rabid East African fans, to Jah Prayzah's music.
Love you, East Africans.
They introduce it to him, and then it also exposes him to the rest of the content. Right now, Jah Prayzah is on MTV Base. And for those of us in the industry, we know how hard it is for Zimbabwe to get an MTV Base.
Yeah.
And so I feel that video served its purpose very well. The problem being now, if you say, let's make a video kumusha, go to MTV Base right now. How many music videos that have that type of setting are getting regular play? You know what I mean?
I get that, and in fact,
you got to think in that line, because what you're trying to do here is you're trying to stand out, but you're also trying to fit in.
it's the same kind of thing. It's the same thing Don Jazzy said. By the way,
that's not just okay interview.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if that Don Jazzy Jah Prayzah collaboration is actually going to happen. There was talk that it existed. Anyway, Don Jazzy did say that. He said that, listen, when we started doing our music videos, we sort of realized that we want to paint a bigger than life picture of ourselves. So we'd be lying. We'd be trying to push this whole image or vision of ourselves as having really like a really dope house and really hot cars and like fine women and whatever. When in reality, obviously, that's not us. And everyone in Africa was used to know you should be representing who you really are. You should be trying to reach and I guess there's sort of room for both, and you have to realize the direction you want to go in.
Yeah, that's like I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's the line. You've got to first of all be true to yourself, but at the same time appeal to the people you're trying to appeal to.
Yeah.
A Kumusha video does not appeal to the kids watching MTV Base. A Kumusha video will not appeal to Diamond Platinum fans if they don't know you. First of all, acclimate into what they are familiar with, what they like, what they love, so that they can be attracted to you and buy into your brand. After they've bought into your brand, go ham on those Kumusha videos. Do, I think it was the Reza video. That video where he's got the afro and he's dancing at the bottle store. You know what I mean? Go back and do those videos till you pass out, because those are dope videos and they represent who you are and they resonate with the African audience. But first and foremost, attract the fans. You've got to lay the trap before, you know what I mean, you stop capturing the people. And they're not going to immediately be attracted to or interested in a video that is so far out there that they want to be attracted to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's my thought.
The funny thing as well is that Jah Prayzah has always been known. In fact, I think that has been probably the key to his growth. He's always been known for having like super creative videos. So like he always had whenever he released an album, there was always like a big fanfare about the videos coming out. And I mean, whether you like them or not, there was no denying that they were just not usual or not ordinary. So even, for example, there was so much conversation about the whole Eriza video because it was basically a stripper who was dressed as a school kid. And yeah, a whole lot of conversation was going on about that. And then there was, which was the other video that had everyone talking? I can't remember, but basically, yeah, he that's what he does. He does these sort of like not ordinary videos. So it was a bit interesting to see that this is a very ordinary video, shot very well, but there wasn't.
Let me tell you, like, just knowing the cost of that video compared to the cost of a Zimbabwean video, that budget was not ordinary by any manner, shape, or form.
Yeah,
Jah Prayzah easily minimum. That video at minimum was $5,000 minimum, probably close to 10.
Yeah. 5,000 sounds low, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At minimum, 5,000.
Oh well. Anyway, check out the video if you haven't checked it out, and add to the I think it's 1.4 mil right now, or somewhere there, views, which is a big deal for a Zimbabwean artist. Shout out to Jah Prayzah.
Well, it's I believe that's the first time outside of I'm not trying to shade him, I forget his name. The artist who did the Dell cover.
Taps.
There we go. Outside of Taps, I believe that is the first. Well,
let's say the first Zimbabwean-based Zimbabwean artist.
The first original composition by a Zimbabwean artist with a video on YouTube to cross 1 million views.
Speaking about Zimbabwean artists with more than 1 million views, I'm going to need you, Philip, to be on your toes because I'm trying to secure a Tinashe interview.
She's not Zimbabwean. Stop saying
this has nothing to do with Two Broke Twimbos, or it's just the vehicle that I'm using because, as you know, my goal for 6 years now has been to obtain that girl's number.
Dan, look, let's just play this out. Let me just play this out for you. Okay. Let's say,
don't ruin my dreams.
Hold on. Look, let's just say, by some miracle, you get Tinashe's number, and you hitting her up, and she's like, "Okay, Dan, you know what, Dan, you cute, you funny. I like what I like that about you, but I'm a performing artist. I'm on the come up. I'm trying to get my career popping off. What are you bringing to the table? What are you offering me as Tinashe?
Support. A back rub after a tough show, a foot rub when you've been spending the whole day in them hot heels. That's what I'm offering. Support and a life of normalcy after the lights and the cameras.
So basically, you're PA.
Yes.
Okay.
Even messenger. No, Phil, you're failing to understand. I don't want anything more than just to meet her. That's all. Just yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, so just be on your toes for that.
I won't hold my breath. That's all I'm saying.
More Zimbabwean artist Queen V's released a new song. Did you hear it?
Oh yes, I heard part of it. Actually, I haven't had a chance to. I've been so busy. I'm behind on emails, but I saw it on Snapchat and I hit her up. So yes, Queen V in the building. I saw it's doing quite well.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about it. It's featuring Dobadon, and Dobadon, of course, is the guy behind.
I know Queen V seems to. I think she's figured out the formula.
However, like previously, she was making music that was very South Africa centric because she had she had the El Tito feature, and then she had the.
Yeah, but I think that's what I'm saying. She's figured it out. Like, remember what I keep saying is, South Africa will never accept you unless the people where you're from accept you, or. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Lost my train of thought. But what she had to do was stop trying to appeal to South Africans first and foremost, appeal to Zimbabweans, and then as a secondary fan base, appeal to the South Africans. That's where success will be. It won't be trying to appeal to South Africans. We'll be like, woo, Queen V, what? We don't know you. Nah, fam. But if they see you're big in Zim and you've got a following from Zim and they go to your social media and you've got all these Zimbabwean fans lauding you with praise, then they'll be like, okay, maybe she's worth listening to. You know what I mean?
Nah, she's really built it, man, because like if you follow her Snapchat, you'll see a couple of times when she'll be in town and she gets mobbed by a whole bunch of people.
But that's what I'm saying.
The Queen V,
that's exactly what I'm saying. That is where her fan base is, in Zimbabwe. She doesn't drive through Sandton and get mobbed like that. She gets mobbed in Harare.
I'm agreeing with you, Phil.
Yes, exactly.
We've both been saying the same thing. Aim for Zim first. Although obviously it's never a hard and fast rule. There's always exceptions to every rule and whatever. But as a general rule, that should be what you're doing. Yeah, no, but it's hilarious because she'll be on Snapchat. She'll just be like, I'm just driving into town, blah, blah, blah. And then the next thing you know is like a bunch of kids. Oh, Queen V, blah, 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 na Queen V.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, it kind of helps that she'll be driving a $200,000 car with her name on the number
That's
plate.
true.
So yeah.
But sheesh, that car, man, it gives me chills.
She's fam. She's got the AMG, the G-Wagon.
Fam.
Then there's the Range. Have you seen the Range? Hey. There's one time she was defecating on us here at Suya Sundays. Just defecating on us. Hey, Sha, why you have to do us like that, V? Dang, girl.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this new song, having listened to it, I don't know if it will be as catchy as the one with Soldier Love or whatever, but it's still it's dope. It's dope. I played it. I'm like, all right.
Oh, but that's the thing. Like, you're not gonna score a 10 on every hit. But as long as you're consistent, if you keep dropping the 7s, if you drop the 8, then occasionally the 10. Then another 7, then maybe when you fall off a 4, but back to the 7. As long as your average
And you're good.
is in that 70% region, that's how you build a career. That's what you need.
And then the occasional 10.
Yeah, exactly.
The occasion, like every 2 years, just bam. I'm like, damn.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that was iconic, man. Chiba na Queen V. She should totally take that and just like use it as, like how Rick Ross uses Maybach music.
Yeah.
It's at the beginning of every song. This is Queen V featuring Adele. It's our new ballad.
Queen V. Yeah. Soldier Love will never look as clean in a music video ever again in his life. Ever.
He was looking like, no, my name is Jeffrey.
Speaking of which, like a lot of people have been hitting up like, yo, Phil, what do you think of that Jeffrey album cover? I mean, like, I don't care.
Why do you care? Why?
Like, I don't really care.
Your favorite has worn a dress, whoever he is.
Like,
Andre
guys,
3 Stacks, Lil Wayne.
Like, I think we've touched on it briefly, but Zimbabwe, Africa as a whole, actually. I was actually reading a report on the creative industry, and then they've got a graph on, it basically correlates like how accepting a society is to quote unquote, what people might term non-natural or alternative lifestyles, which is, people that are homosexual, people that are transgender, and so forth. And Africa throughout, it's just ranking lowest.
Well,
And
that's it's not very surprising.
But it's sad. And I'm wondering, like, why do people care? What does Jeffrey or Young Thug's choice in apparel, how does it affect your life? Because you still have your same problems. At the end of the month, rent is still due, whether he's wearing a dress or not.
The funny thing is, he's wearing a dress. It's not like he came out of the closet or what. It's just, fam, it's an album. The whole idea is to catch your eye. So he's wearing it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but
he's been wearing dresses for a while. Like Young Thug, when he came out.
I love the irony in it, that his name is Young Thug. Yeah, I mean, he's changed it. Yeah, I know.
Jeffrey.
It's actually, no, my name is Jeffrey.
The funny part is, I was actually watching a documentary. Do you know that in the Western world, boys and girls used to wear dresses up until the early 19th century?
Did you know that in Africa we used to wear things that seemed like dresses?
Yes.
Known as nembis.
That is indeed correct. In the West, they still wear what you might think is a dress. But why do you care? Guys, stop letting your minds be conformed by the Western powers that look to oppress you. Free yourself from the Western agents.
But besides all of that, I mean, he's wearing a dress, fam. I love the fact that it got people talking, and as expected or whatever, but hey, some of the blowback for that was, can you imagine, I don't know, can you imagine Casper Nyovest putting out an album cover where he's wearing a full-on gown?
Well, you see, that's the thing.
Africa would go mental.
It depends on how strong the brand is. Because, let's look at guys like Somizi. He's unapologetically Somizi.
Yes.
If you've quoted a few episodes of Idol, Somizi will be there, nail polish, he's got braids.
I wish you could hear some of the conversations Zimbabweans have about him.
Fam, Zimbabweans, sometimes I just get so disgusted. Like, the hatred Zimbabweans have for people that are just like them, who, by no choice of their own, are attracted to someone of the same gender, or they feel that they might be incorrectly assigned in terms of gender, the hatred that they have. And I'm like, why does this affect you? How is this your problem?
I think, like it's a great rule to generally live by. Whatever your personal feelings and whatever your personal beliefs are, all good. You are so 100% entitled to them. There's absolutely no need to feel hate or animosity or anger to someone who's done less than zero to you. So why? Why would you?
Yeah, simple rule of thumb. There's a simple rule of thumb in life. Is someone being physically or emotionally hurt by this? Is someone's life being affected negatively by this? If the answer is no, and it involves a consenting adult, then mind your business.
So anyway, but yeah, shout out to Young Thug, man. I mean, shout out to My Name is Jeffrey, man. You got them talking, eh? You got them to, and he's had a couple of incidents, hasn't he?
He has indeed.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes. Speaking of artists breaking the mold, my boy, he's not my boy. I mean, let me make that clear. My boy Takura shut down the streets with his video for my Obama.
Okay.
And I said it 3 months ago. I'm going to repeat it. By November, Takura will be the biggest Zimbabwean hip hop artist. That is a fact.
You should hear. Did you hear the new XQ joint featuring Rocky and Takura? I'll send it to you because I don't think it was officially released. We sort of hijacked it. The beat sounds almost just like Baddest. You should check it out. Anyway, never mind. That was just an aside. And I realize now that the big artists are looking for Takura as a feature.
Yes. I mean, it's just the way the world works. Takura's getting all the... Like we were saying last episode with Mile, Takura is now getting the YouTube views. He is getting their bookings. He is getting the radio play. These are the things that Zimbabwean rappers are failing to acquire and achieve. He's shutting down the streets.
Shout out to Takura, man. Shout out to Takura. Just don't get hit up by scandals, eh? Because I know when fame comes quick, these the girls, they'll be coming after you, eh?
Yes.
Keep your head on straight, my man. Keep your head on straight. Mm-hmm. Like I always tell Brian K,
What's up with it?
Exactly. I know, but shout out, man. I love seeing this, man. I love it. Okay,
I'm seeing the note you sent me here. Who's this second runner-up at Miss Universe? Who's that?
Oh, right. So, no, this is not Miss Universe. This is Mrs. Universe.
Say what now?
Mrs. Universe. All right, it's a pageant organized for married.
When was this?
Women. It wasn't too long ago, actually. It was I think it was this past weekend.
Just hold on.
Let me see if I can find.
What's her name? Who is she?
Her name is Tracy Ann.
Surname?
Huxley. Hold on, let me just find this article so I can read it.
That name sounds very familiar. Like I feel I might have dated her.
Who had an article on her? Three Mob had an article. Three Mob,
the reliable source for all Zimbabwe news.
That sounds shady.
I'm giving him an ad. He's going to pay us for that.
Hold on, where is this? Tracy Ann. Yes, indeed, Tracy Ann. Zimbabwe's Tracy Ann grabs first runner-up spot at Mrs. Universe 2016. Tracy Ann Buckley Agate. That's her name.
Jeez.
She's
doesn't roll off the tongue, does it?
Not very much. Yeah, she's doing a this flag pose in this picture, or maybe it's just the picture
what's
that was.
This flag pose? I don't know what that is. What is this
flag
pose?
Around the shoulders?
So she's got a flag around her shoulders. That's not a pose. It's just a flag around the shoulders.
Well, then she's also posing for the photo.
Okay. Oh, by the way, did I tell you I met MI? Okay, carry on. Sorry. Yo, fam, I was so disappointed.
Why?
Hey. So, I flew in for that MI show, excited, hyped. We get there at like 9. I think 9. Yeah, we get there around 9. We walk in. There's 6 people there. So I'm like, she must be early. I'm like, no, just as well we came early because there was an issue with the list. So I'm making sure because the blog gave away some tickets to fans. Go down, sit down. Okay, guys are DJing. I'm like, just as well early. Let me set up my camera. An hour passes by. Like, hey, there's only like 2 more people. Okay, I guess everyone's coming around later. Another hour passes. It's like 4 more people now. Jeez, guys, what time are we supposed to start? Because it's kind of empty in here. Okay, all right. I guess it's gonna start later. Yeah, still holding on, waiting around. Then I meet the organizer. He was actually at Haifa like 2 years ago. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? We're cool. We're expecting a big crowd. Like the last event we had with Sauti Soul, there were like 3,000 people. I'm like, dope. Cool. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Another hour passes by. Now we're approaching midnight. And there's like maybe 20 people in there. I'm like, yo,
Are
guys.
there any performances going on in the meantime? Or?
It's just the DJ. Just the DJ. And like on the bill, there was like a long list of artists. So I'm like, yo, where's DJ Speedster? Where's DJ Lambo? Where are these people? No one. So then Double HP comes in. So now the celebs are starting to come in. So Double HP's like, Double HP, how you doing? So like me and Double HP hit it up. He's like, yo, that interview was crazy. Like I didn't know it was gonna blow up that much. I'm like, yeah, For those of you who don't know, like I did an interview with Double HP a few months back. It went very viral, and he got a record deal because of it. So shout out to him. So yeah, I speak to Double HP. MI comes in. Yo, Phil, nice to meet you, man. I really appreciate what you're doing. Blah blah. So what time are you supposed to go on? I was like, I'm supposed to be on in 30 minutes. Really? 30 minutes? There's like 20 people down there, man. What's going on? It's like, no, don't worry about it. I'm sure it'll fill up. So I go back. The organizer's like, okay, we've pushed all the performances back an hour. We just want to make sure that the place fills up. Now it's approaching 1. So now it's getting late. And there's about, at most, 70 people in the building, maybe. And this is MI, fam. MI.
Did he perform?
He performed a full hour. Like he gave the same way that AKA performed for 10 people that one time. Or that time when Double HP came for Shogun.
I've never appreciated an artist more than that time. No, Double HP's wasn't so bad.
But it was still empty. So yeah.
Bad. Yeah, but but I think the thing with MI is like the artist's artist. You know what I mean?
No,
like
MI is, dude, okay, that's the weird thing. Anywhere else on the continent, MI's been to East Africa, sold out. MI continuously sells out in East Africa. MI goes to America, sells out. MI goes to UK, sells out. So I feel that it could be that because he's very lyrical. And as you know, South Africa is a very difficult place for outsiders to penetrate, especially if they're not commercially appealing. And AKA does not have that many songs on commercial international radio. You know what I mean?
MI, you mean, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was heartbreaking, fam. I left that event so heartbroken. Like, man, like I felt like I had invited him to perform. You know what I mean? It's like, cha.
Yeah. It was kind of like that Manifest performance, though.
Where? At Haifa?
Haifa.
Manifest was packed, though.
Man, I just wish there was more hype because, it's Manifest, bruh. And like the artists and the people in the industry know. Everyone else is just kind of like, I don't know, some artist from Ghana.
Speaking of which, guess who got an exclusive listen to Manifest's new album? And I spoke to him yesterday, actually. I had an interview with him. I'm going to put it up tomorrow.
I still have Manifest's Skype here. I'm just going to send him some emojis. Few smiley faces. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So look, I don't know if there's anything we should talk about that's coming up besides Shoko Fest. Oh, there's another festival, called Mosaic.
Mm-hmm.
That should be interesting to see how that goes. I always get excited when there's stuff like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find the information about it. No. Oh, yes, there it is. Mosaic is a festival that celebrates food, fashion, art, and music. The Mosaic Cultural Festival on the 10th of September.
Okay. Interesting.
Performing artists will be ASAP, Reverb 7.
ASAP Rocky?
ASAP.
Oh, that boy ASAP.
Yes, that boy ASAP.
He changed his name to ASAP now?
I think it's still the boy ASAP, but I mean, maybe for the sake of space on this flyer. ASAP, Reverb 7, Norma That Girl.
Oh, yes, shout out to Norma. She sends us mixes from time to time. I like her.
Komemo and Sharky. Oh, and more.
Sharky Soko Watemai. That's my guy. Soko.
Shout out to Sharky, man. He's doing well with his album. Not so well on radio per se, but
he's not a radio rapper.
Yeah, but like everyone's shout out to Sharky, man. It's a pretty dope album. Soko Matamai.
Yes. I actually need to drop a review for his album this week, so that'll be coming soon. But I think at this point in juncture, Dan, I don't mean to name drop, but I need to go off and see Jadena perform. So
give me a drop. I always ask you this, and you don't give me drops. If you could get him to say,
I've got limited time.
Yeah, just grab your phone, tell everyone to shut up, and just get him to say, Dan is a classic, man.
Dude,
actually, no. If he says, Danny, that guy is a classic, man. You're listening to Danny, that guy. Something like that, you know. I have full faith in your.
You know what? If I do get him for a 10-minute interview, I will do that for you.
Thank you.
Up until that point, about one.
EB. All right, enjoy.
I don't know. Is there anything else we need to drop for the listeners? Oh, yes. There was that issue you wanted to discuss about someone castigating us.
Oh, yes.
For not being political. Guys, you know, I don't know how to break this to you, but this is our show. So we'll do what we want on our show. Unless you are putting money in our pockets. STFU!
But we still love you, though, and thanks for the support. Look,
yes, don't tell us what to do on our show.
I would like to say that not everything has to be about what you are thinking about. You know what I mean? All the time.
Amazing thing of the human brain. Like, God is an amazing, amazing creator. He gave us the ability to use free thought. And it's literally limitless, the amount of ideas and pathways the neurons can create. So, if you feel that we aren't tackling this issue, what you have basically discovered is a gap in the market. Why not use your ability to penetrate that gap?
You know what I hate? I hate when, like, I don't know, maybe there's a rare sighting of some rare bird in Zimbabwe. And then someone will just be like, how can you be talking about this rare sighting of a bird in Zimbabwe when, you know, people are dying in the street? Hey, dog.
We can do both. And the funny thing is, both. If you really listen to this show, we actually cover a lot of serious issues. But people don't realize that in Zimbabwe, there are certain ways to cover issues that won't get your ass kicked.
Yes.
And we aren't trying to get our asses kicked. Dan has a job. He's not trying to get fired. You know? Did you consider that, buddy? Did you? I don't think so. Okay.
All right. I think
love you though. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. Much respect. No, I'm serious. Like, really appreciate that. But yeah, fam, come on.
Yeah, no, not to say we're not open to suggestions. Y'all are very welcome to suggest, but we're also very open to say, no thanks, shut up, we appreciate it, bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. I think if you guys are familiar with wrestling around the turn of the millennium, there was this young upstart, I believe his name was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and he had a very fitting catchphrase. I think, Dan, you should put it at the end of this episode. It's basically went something like, you can take that opinion, throw some spit on it, shine it till it's glistening and gold and beautiful. Then turn it sideways and stick it up your candy ass.
All right. On that note, we're gonna sign out. As usual, subscribe. We say this all the time every week, and I know we don't. I feel sometimes we should push it more, but I don't want to be that kind of person who just spends the whole show sort of plugging themselves. But please, you have no idea how important it is to us to get that like, that follow, that rating, that comment on.
We are very vain.
Please,
please. I literally refresh the page religiously every night. Like, do we have one more? Like, one more.
The one that I love seeing is because on YouTube, for example, I've got suggestions set up. And one of the things that's it's often suggested is like African hip hop. So this is what's new in African hip hop, blah blah, or this is what you might want to watch in African hip hop. And I'm always sparked to see how Casper in Your Vest episode is a perennial one there, which leads me to think that probably other people who maybe have similar taste to me.
The problem being is if you're signed in, it's because
I know I'm aware of that, but as part of its algorithm, it doesn't just select what you like; it also selects what's popular. So it mixes those two. So it merges them. So it tells me that that's great, and it's sitting on just under 60,000 views, and that's
actually I need to hit up Casper. He dropped his Fill Up the Dome DVD last week. I wasn't able to go because I was beat, and I actually missed the email. But he dropped a snippet on his YouTube page. Hey, the production on that DVD looks amazing. Shout out to him, man. So I'm trying to get hold of him for an interview before Fill Up the stadium, Fill Up Orlando.
Yeah, sure.
So yes, anyway guys, please don't forget, like, follow, subscribe. It's Two Broke Twimbos on Facebook, Two Broke Twimbos on Twitter, Two Broke Twimbos on Viber. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, please guys. We literally on every platform: TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, iTunes podcasts, any podcast, whatever app you use. If you're on Android, just download any podcast app, Dog Catcher, Feedly, whatever it may be. Search for Two Broke Twimbos. We'll be there. If you can, leave a comment because it means so much to us. And of course, hit us up on Twitter at Philchard, at Danny That Guy. Anything else, Dan?
Well, I was just also going to say that, even if all the entertainment you have is listening to your grandmother telling you stories, ask her for Two Broke Twimbos. We're probably on that platform too. I don't think I have anything else to say. On that note, I think we can safely say we are out.
We broke.
I'll tell you what I think.
It doesn't matter what you think. Now what you do, Michael, is you sit your ass down at that announcer's booth, you take off your headset and you don't say a word. And I quote, you know your damn role and shut your damn mouth. The picture you're gonna get is The Rock shining it up real nice, turning that sumbitch sideways and sticking it straight up. Candy, yeah. We broke.